Hello friends, I'm Kayla and it's time for my annual Christmas Day book haul. We're gonna start out with the two festive things that I bought myself because I'm reading festive reads. Actually, I guess yesterday you would have already seen my reviews of these, but at this point we're time traveling. So check out that video if you want to know if I actually recommend them or not. But we have Christmas and Other Horrors, edited by Ellen Datlow. It's a winter solstice anthology about various winter holidays and celebrations and the deadly things that come along with them in here. There are 18 stories by a whole mix of authors that I've read before, new to me. I also grabbed The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson because how can you resist a short mystery novel? This is about an American student celebrating the holidays in a British manor house, and she discovers there are secrets to the seemingly charming celebration, some grim history involved. Next, let's get into this stack, which I bought at a library book sale. You might have already seen my TikTok if you're following me on TikTok, where I went over everything that I found and all the exciting things that I got for $2. So I actually found a whole bunch of ARCs, and one of them is The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett. I bought The Appeal in my most recent book haul and still haven't read it, but I decided to buy another book from her in case I decide to read it. This is about the connection between a series of children's books and a teacher's strange disappearance. That's the mystery. Another mystery I found is The Plot by Jean Hanff Horowitz. I need to take off the library wrapping. All I remember with this is it's like a book inside a book. I guess this author has a student who writes a really good book and then that student dies and he decides to publish it or something like that. Let me know if it's good. Let's go through the other arcs I found though. White Cat Black Dog by Kelly Link, which is a short story collection. I think it's like fairy tale-ish. Darkly funny, sexy, and frightening, says Karen Russell. I also found I Keep My Exoskeletons to Myself by Marissa Crane. And this is about a radical new form of law enforcement. Rather than incarceration, wrongdoers are given a second shadow as a reminder of their crime and a warning to those they encounter. This was in the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I could have read it for one of the, I think it was actually up for 2 different categories, and I didn't, but now I'm itching to get to it. I also found Fever House, which I had only heard about like a couple days before the library book sale. I saw it on Instagram and I bookmarked it to look into it later, and then saw it and immediately grabbed it. Not really knowing the plot, but I think it's a haunted house story. I mean, we're following a man who finds a severed hand in one of his clients' refrigerators. He's a drug dealer, and then he quickly realizes the hand induces uncontrollable madness. Idle Hands is one of my favorite cheesy movies, so maybe we can kind of connect the two. There's a very long synopsis that continues talking about other people and their relationship with the hand. So moving on to Black River Orchard by Chuck Wendig, which I just remembered I was gonna give my mom for Christmas. It's not Christmas yet, so we're chilling. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. A small town is transformed by dark magic when 7 strange trees begin bearing magical apples in this masterpiece of horror. I'm gonna make her read it and then I'll just borrow it back from her if she likes it. Buried in the orchard is something else besides the seeds of this extraordinary tree, a bloody history whose roots reach back to the very origins of the town. Next up, I found Spaceman of Bohemia by Jaroslav Kalfer. We're following a character who is a small town scientist going to become the first astronaut in his country, and now he's alone in deep space with a giant alien spider. What could go wrong? Let's move on to some books I have read so I can actually tell you what they're really about. One of them is Unlikable Female Characters, which I also found at the library book sale, but I had already read it as a library copy, but I wanted to own it because I'm going to be recommending this to plenty of people. It is a nonfiction book that dives into all of the stereotypes that women in media have been like forced into to represent on screen for people, and like the morality lessons that come along with being the shrew or the bitch or the weirdo, and I think it was interesting. Another nonfiction is Strong Female Character by Fern Brady, which I bought to complete the Goodreads Choice Awards video where I was reading one book from every category. This was in humor, though it's not funny. We're following Fern as she's growing up undiagnosed with autism until being an adult, and all of the trials that she goes through and trying to understand herself and trying to like just move about in the world that's not really set up for her to succeed, and then her career becoming a comedian and how she continues to thrive and struggle every day. Oh, pause, I found another festive one. I forgot, The Winter Spirits, Ghostly Tales for Frosty Nights. I originally planned to read this along with the other anthology and The Christmas Guest, And then I realized I didn't really have time to complete all of that by Christmas Eve. But I did purchase this for like a lot from Waterstones because it wasn't available here, and now I like want to read it before, you know, I could reasonably find it on sale somewhere or at the thrift store. So maybe I should do that in January? I don't know. The tradition of a haunted tale at Christmas has flourished across the centuries. These 12 stories by some of today's most loved and lauded authors of Gothic fiction are all centered around the festive season, boldly and playfully reimagining a beloved tradition for a modern audience. Who's in here that I've read? Oh, no one. Oh, no, wait. Katrina Ward, Stuart Turton. Someone make sure I read this before, although maybe like I could hold on to it until next December and then I already have some, because I find it hard to find seasonal festive reads that I actually am interested in. A lot of them seem to be romance. So there, I just in one fell swoop told you to make me read it, said I was gonna read it, and then decided to not read it for a year. Perfect. Oh, and now there's another ARC from the library book sale. This is unorganized. River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. I also read for the Goodreads video. And this is about a woman named, what was her name? Her name given to her is Rachel. And she has lost a lot of her children. She's been enslaved in Barbados, and some of her children have died. Some of them have been sold. And she is now on a mission to find them all. Also for that video, read The Wager and bought The Wager by David Gran for $40. I wish I had someone in my life who I could gift this to who I think would appreciate it. This is a story of shipwreck, mutiny, and murder about the ship full of crew members and their survival story as they end up stranded on this island, and then making their way and making a ship for them to travel back to, you know, a semblance of society. And what happens when they all have different personalities and different goals and different thoughts, and the way they're treated once they arrive. Also for the Goodreads video, Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco, which is a demon prince fairy-esque romantasy novel that I liked more than I thought I would. It's about the Prince of Envy. He is from this other trilogy. I think it's a trilogy, and this is like the adult spin-off. A deadly game begins to save the demon court, and there is a girl and they become involved. They embark on a perilous journey through the underworld. Also for the Goodreads video, I bought The Deep Sky and then did not read it, so I don't know if I'll continue one day or what's going on with this, but this is by Yume Kitase. I don't really know the plot of this. It started out really slow. There was like this explosion and all of these people are in space and they're responsible for repopulating wherever they're gonna end up. And I just wasn't interested in it. And that sucks because I got it from, well, I did buy it like secondhand. I originally had it as a library book. Like I got it from the library. I was gonna read it. And then I saw it on sale and I just decided to buy it because I was sure that I was gonna read it and perhaps enjoy it. And then I DNF'd it. So, oh well, you live and you learn. Next, actually, maybe I could give that to my mom too. She's into the spacey stuff. I also purchased and read these two for a video. This is We Can Never Leave This Place by Eric LaRocca, and it's about a family who loses their husband/father, but they keep his body in the house, and then all of these people, creature, weird things arrive to pay their respects or something more awful than that. Then we had to remove this post by Hannah Bervoets, translated by Emma Ralt. And this is about a girl who works at this company. She does like media, what's it called? Moderating. And she sees like horrific things that people are trying to post and has to like decide what videos and pictures are appropriate for this website or not. But it's not about the horrific things that she sees. It's more just her, you know, office job and her relationships at work with her coworkers and romantic relationships. It's just a little mundane, but I had a good time. I also purchased, I think since I did my last book haul, I think I purchased The Reformatory. This came out on Halloween and I don't think I've done a haul since Halloween. You don't care. The Reformatory is about this young boy who gets put into the reformatory and as like a form of punishment. And while he's there, he is able to communicate with the ghosts of the dead who have been there before him, and learns like the darkness that is involved in this school, while his sister, we're also following her, desperately trying to get him out of the situation before she thinks he will perish. I also recently read A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki for a video. This was a story of a young girl who recently moved to Tokyo, and we're following her journal as she's sharing what she's going through at school, her relationship with her parents and the bullying she's experiencing. And then we're also following a woman decades later on Vancouver Island in Canada, and she has come across the diary and various information about this young girl, and we're just following her journey as like an author and wanting to learn about this family to see what they're up to now, if they're safe. It was quite good and had some unexpected elements. Oh, and I just put this to the side, and then, okay, this is also a library book sale find, The Bear and the Nightingale, which I feel like people more so years ago when I was first starting my channel told me I had to read. Is that true? Let's fact check me. When did this come out? 2017. Okay, yeah. It was like 2017 when people were really getting into this and telling me I needed to read it. And I didn't know if it was just because it was popular or because it was something specific that I would like. So I ignored all the recommendations. And now that my reading taste has evolved into, I think, enjoying stories of this nature, I think I'll be down to read it sometime soon. So it takes place in the Russian wilderness, and we're following a family in this like cabin, and then their father brings home a new wife. It feels fairy tale-ish, like she's kind of evil. She doesn't allow the family to do what they used to do, and now our main character must call upon dangerous gifts to protect her family from a threat sprung to life from her nurse's most frightening tales. I don't know when or in what capacity I would read this, for some type of video perhaps this year. And I do think that that's everything that I got from that library book sale. I don't think anything's missing, but I do have a whole bunch more discounted reads that I stumbled upon. So Francie's Got a Gun by Carrie Snyder. I love the cover of, and this has like a really kind of ominous and vague synopsis. On a June afternoon, a girl named Frances dashes down a neighborhood street, wide-eyed, clutching a gun, looking for a place to hide. To save herself, she knows she must keep running, and to save those she loves, she must hold tight to that gun. It's like, what is it actually about? I don't know, but I think I saw like one person on Instagram say, this is like such a wild, interesting story, and I immediately put it on my radar. Then there's this one called Walking Practice by Dalky Min, and it was really just the cover. Also, I knew it was sci-fi, and maybe that's all that I needed. A radical literary sensation from South Korea about an alien's hunt for food that transforms into an existential crisis about what it means to be human. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to read. Perfect. Look out for my review at some point. This is translated by Victoria Cabell. I also found She Started It by Sean Gilbert. I think it's a 2023 release. Yeah, and people said it has like a shocking ending. So it's about all of these women who go on a tropical vacation together. One of the friend group they haven't seen in a very long time, and she's the one putting it on and inviting them all, and then she's gonna like reveal all of their darkest secrets or something like that on the trip. I also found a couple short story collections from authors that I like. We've got Things We Lost in the Fire by Mariana Enriquez, who I have loved stuff from, and everyone tells me this is what I need to pick up. I don't know what the vibe is. Alongside black magic and disturbing disappearances, these stories are fueled by compassion for the vulnerabilities of the frightened and the lost, ultimately bringing these characters, mothers and daughters, husbands and wives, into a stark and known reality. I also grabbed Seven Empty Houses by Samantha Schweblin, translated by Megan McDowell. This is another newer release, and it's about 7 houses. The 7 houses in these 7 stories are strange. A person is missing, or a truth or memory. Some rooms are enticing, some unmoored, others empty. Hopefully I love it. Also grabbed Deep as the Sky, Red as the Sea by Rita Chang Epig. As I've gotten more into pirate stories, and by more into, I mean I read one and liked it. It says a legendary Chinese pirate queen is the main character in here. It's about the Chinese Empire and lost ships and alliances, and it's a book of salt and grit, blood and sweat. A portrait of a woman who leads with courage and ruthlessness. Another exciting find, The Wonder State by Sarah Flannery Murphy. Again, I saw like one person say they really liked it months ago, and it's been in the back of my head ever since that I need to pick it up regardless of what it's about or not knowing what it's about. I think there is a group of friends and they like lost one of their friends. I think it's about grief, and it's like speculative but also just warm and general fiction. It's about strange houses that appear only when you need them. A speculative gothic tale about searching for home. I have a feeling I'll be reading that sooner than later, so keep an eye out. I also bought Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. Even though I didn't love her book a couple years. Was it last year? This is a novella, and I thought, like, if I'm gonna love something from this author, perhaps it could be a novella. Rosemary meets Ash at a farmer's market. Ash, precise, pretty, and practically perfect, sells bars of soap in delicate pastel colors, sprinkle spackled cupcakes stacked on scalloped stands, beeswax candles, jelly jars of honey, and gloomy green plants. Ro has never felt this way about another woman. With Ash, she wants to be her and have her in equal measure. But as her obsession with Ash consumes her, she may find she's not the one doing the devouring. Told in lush, delectable prose, this is a deliciously dark tale of passion taking an unsavory turn. That sounds like exactly what I should be reading. And then Knock Knock Open Wide, one of my favorite covers of the year by Neil Sharpson. Oh yeah, this is the one with the very weird synopsis that says there's a woman who takes a corpse to a remote farmhouse. So begins a night of unspeakable horror that will take her to the very brink of sanity. And I don't want to read on because, like, that's enough. What are we talking about? It has something to do with, like, memories of a TV show too that everyone remembers differently. Second last is my most recent purchase. This just came out. It's That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. It had come out previously under a different cover, and now it's being more traditionally published, I think, or with a different publisher. I'm not totally sure, but it is this series of books. And in this one, we're following a spice trader named Cinnamon. I think it's Demon Smut. This demon's trying to kill an evil witch, and now he's dragging Cinnamon along for the ride. I'm actually reading this for my besties members book club. We're going to be discussing this in March. So if you want to join and you want to see my reaction to this and share your thoughts, I'd love to have you. Lastly, I was very kindly sent an ARC of one of my most anticipated reads of the year, Everyone on this Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson. I have no doubt that this will not live up to the first book, so I don't know why I'm anticipating it so much, but I just loved the writing style of this so much. Very direct to reader, told kind of after the fact, just about this guy who at the beginning is revealing all of, like, the way that he's writing the book. He's like, this is a mystery novel. Here are the rules of a mystery novel. Here's where all the deaths occur in the story. Like, you know everything. I'm letting you in on it all. But then there are still things to learn and surprises to come. And it's about how everyone in his family is unsavory. And in here, I guess they are getting on a train together and somebody dies. And now they're all potential suspects. Who's going to solve the crime? Who is the one who did it? No clue. Can't wait to find out. And those are the 32 books that I added to my life in the past, I want to say 10 to 12 weeks since I last filmed a book haul. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you're interested in. If you could control my TBR, what would you force me to read first? I hope you're having a great holiday season, and I will see you tomorrow with another one. Bye.